further ado then, my name is Dr. Davey B. Gravey. This is my tiny cinema.
Hello, welcome to MovieTown, the LA Revival Cinema Scene show. We are here at the Tiny Cinema, parked just off Sunset Boulevard in Silver Lake. And I'm joined by Davey B. Gravey, proprietor of the Tiny Cinema. Davey, thanks so much for joining me on MovieTown.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
Kind of the most intimate, certainly, cinema we've done for the show, and maybe I've probably ever been in. But had you, where was the origin of Tiny Cinema?
You mean like where did it first exist, or like
when did you first have the idea of like, I'd like to have a 4-person mobile cinema?
Yeah, it's always been kind of a tough question to answer because it sort of moved through several phases, but it started, I think, with just a love for Super 8 film.
Okay.
I discovered it when I was in college, in film school. A buddy of mine was working with it and had a projector, and something about seeing Super 8 film like in his living room projected. It was just like such a different experience than I'd ever had with cinema before. Adding this like live element to it with the film projection and the live music. I'm a musician as well and have been playing live, understand and appreciate what live music can be and do for the heart and the soul.
Yeah.
And kind of fusing that with a cinema experience, like I think going to the movies is an amazing experience always, but it is a more passive kind of just receiving this like thing that was made somewhere else and now is being reproduced, and just sort of you're in this dark room in this dream space. And something about being in this more intimate space with the film projection and the live music performance felt like a more active viewing experience to me than just going to see a movie.
Yeah.
In a way that excited me. So I think that's where it sort of originated.
Yeah.
Sasha, wake up 3.
And then the current iteration of like the Tiny Cinema we sit in now, when did this first park and open doors?
It would have been August 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's been just over 10 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in LA?
No, my homeland is in Colorado.
Okay.
So I, after graduating college, went back there for a long time. And that's where the Tiny Cinema was born. Built it kind of in the Boulder area. And yeah, the first show ever was at the Boulder Outdoor Cinema. And yeah, but it's mobile, so it's been, even when it was based in Colorado, I did a bunch of trips with it and tours. And
then so when did you come to LA? When did it start its LA run?
Started its LA run in Late 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been here almost 4 years now.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
LA is a place that I had always wanted to bring the tiny cinema because it's MovieTown.
Yeah.
But still hadn't at that point, and so ended up deciding to move out here and bring the tiny, and yeah, now it's like living its fullest life.
So 2014 had the tiny cinema or playing like live accompaniment to silent films. Had you been doing that prior, or did it all kind of happen with this one project?
It kind of all happened with this one project.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a weird moment of a lot of interests and artistic loves in my life kind of snowballing into the same thing that became this project. Was always interested in film, was always interested in music, always interested in performing live. And yeah, it all kind of like came together with this.
Hey you all, I do this show called MovieTown. It's about like cinema scene in LA. And we're doing, my latest episode is about the tiny cinema.
Oh, I'll be on it.
I'm Andy from MovieTown. Who are y'all?
I'm Justine.
So did you guys just check out a film in the tiny cinema?
Yes, we were waiting for our burger at the window, and I was like, I'm very curious what this is, and we were called in, and it was a beautiful, enchanting experience with bells and
What film did you see?
We saw Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, nice.
And honestly, the little clip at the beginning featuring Nicole Kidman was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
Had you guys, either of you ever seen like a silent film with live accompaniment?
No, never.
Never.
Yeah.
What about silent films? Have you seen many silent films?
That's not on streaming at my house.
What was the first film that ran in the tiny cinema?
The first film that ran in the tiny cinema was actually my first original film that I made for the tiny cinema.
Yeah.
Which is called Low Noon.
And do you still run that?
I do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then what was the first kind of oldie?
The first oldie, that's a really good question. I think, what was on the menu at that first show? I think Woody Woodpecker and the Termites from Mars was on there.
Do you have the ones you're running tonight, kind of a menu planned?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what are those?
Tonight I'll be showing Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
I usually show two oldies and original as like a typical film menu, but that changes depending on the show, depending on the gig. But so the two oldies are Alice in Wonderland, which is a 2.5 minute abridged silent version of a live action from 1933.
Okay.
1 Million BC, which again is an abridged version of a longer feature film that came out in, I think that one is 1940.
Okay.
Some or early 40s. And then the original on the menu tonight is called Up, Up and Away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's something you directed and made?
Correct.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And so how long ago did you shoot that?
That one was shot in 2021, just before I moved to LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. The scores that you perform for those films, are they completely written ahead of time, or is there some improv that you do and mix it up, or like what is the score that an audience would come hear?
It is mostly written ahead of time, I would say.
Yeah.
A lot of the scores have moments that are kind of always improvised, sort of, or like little sections where it's like, well, I'll just do something there, and it's a little different every time. And the other thing I would say is that none of these scores are like scores in the sense that they're written down with notes.
Right.
Like they are all kind of constantly evolving and honing, and that's part of the fun that I have with performing these films over and over, is getting to, even with something like Alice in Wonderland that I've done for, probably 9 out of the 10 years I've done with tiny cinema, every once in a while there's a moment where I have a thought like, oh, maybe I could do this a little differently, or I'll do something accidentally that actually sounds really good, and it's like, oh, I'm doing that from now on. So they're all like kind of constantly shifting and evolving a little bit. Alice in Wonderland.
And what instruments are you playing during the screenings?
What I started with and what a lot of the films are based in are ukulele.
Okay.
And this funny little electronic instrument I can show you here. It's called the Chaosilator.
Okay.
It's
Is it like a beat sort of like a?
it has beats. It's like a synthesizer basically, but instead of a keyboard with keys on it, it has this touchpad.
Oh, God.
You basically set like a scale and a key, and when you go sort of left to right, it changes the note on the scale, and if you go up and down on the y-axis, it changes like an effect on the notes.
Okay.
It's a funny, weird little touchpad synthesizer instrument that I use a lot. And but so for Up, Up and Away, it's a lot of bass guitar and flute. So
And then, maybe it's one of the ones you're showing tonight, but do you have kind of a personal favorite that you get excited about when it's like, okay, I can put this one on again?
It's an interesting question. I think the answer is no.
Yeah.
I sort of, it's always exciting and an honor to get to share my own filmmaking work, but I really love the oldies too.
Yeah.
And I go through a process in curating the oldies, where, I just talked about I have an extended collection of Super 8 films. Not all of them make the criteria for becoming a tiny movie, I would say, because I like the films that I show in here to have a solid beginning, middle, and end kind of thing. And because a lot of these are abridged versions of longer feature films, some of them do have that, and they kind of speed run the movie in a way and still have kind of a beginning, middle, and end. And those are the ones I usually go for. But some of them are just like a select scene. Like I have one that's Jason and the Argonauts, but it's just the battle with Talos. It's like the claymation, like Colossus guy.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's very cool to see. And I'm sure, if you had a Super 8 projector in the 1960s or whatever, and you went and saw that in a big cinema and then went and bought that at the store, it would be a really fun thing to watch over and over. But as far as a tiny movie experience in the tiny cinema, it's just that one scene. So it's not really a full story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To 1 million BC.
So do you know, was that a really common thing, that these like abridged Super 8s that people would then take home? Like, I think it's the first time I've heard of it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I like, maybe I should be more of an expert on this kind of thing, because I really do traffic in these tiny movies. But from what I can glean, this was the first home movie format. Like this was kind of, people could see movies on TV, but Super 8 projectors were the first technology where people were shooting their own home movies. It was the first time people were, taking movies of their families on Super 8 and whatever, like little kids on swings in fast motion.
Because I guess I hadn't thought about like a pre-video
home movie.
This was essentially kind of like even VHS rental stuff. Like this was how you could take a piece of a movie you saw in the theater or hadn't seen.
Right.
Like, I'm sure there was a lot of people who saw these shorty kind of things first before they saw the movie in the theater, because it wasn't playing at that time.
True.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, totally.
And what would you say, does there tend to be a crowd favorite you found over the 10 years?
I would say people will often go for the shorter run times.
Okay.
especially if they haven't been to the Tiny Cinema before. It's such a unique operation. Like, people don't totally know what to do with it sometimes. It's like, wait, you go inside? There's there's 4 seats. Hello there!
How are you?
Very well, how are you? This is the Tiny Cinema, yes. Here I'm screening short, silent films on Super 8 film projection with live musical accompaniment. I have a menu of 3 films here you can choose from, and it's all by donation, so you can decide what you want to pay after the show.
Also, we have similar glasses.
Hey, very cool.
So how short is the film?
It depends on which one you see. These are all in minutes, so this one's 2.5 minutes, that's the shortest. 7.5, 12.5.
How many people fit in there?
Well, I have 4 seats available. You're welcome to take a peek if you'd like. Yeah. 4 seats. We could squeeze more in the aisle if need be, as long as nobody tells the fire marshal. You're welcome to bring food in here as well if you want to wait for that.
Oh wow, this is
Or whatever.
some on the go, huh?
This is brilliant. And what is the film presentation like?
Super 8.
Fantastic. All right, we'll have dinner. Come over.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 3 seats left available for the next screening of Alice in Wonderland in the Tiny Cinema. If anyone would like to see a tiny movie, please step right up.
What have been the most unique experiences from your seat in the back, like watching people? Like, I was just thinking of, like, yeah, are people like making out? Like, what is like the like what is like what's happened in here?
There's smooching sometimes.
Yeah.
For sure. I like to tell people smooching is allowed, but no funny business.
Yeah.
That's what Davey B. Gravey likes to tell people.
You know, it's something I really wanted to ask of the character of Davey B. Gravey.
Yes.
Like, was it always kind of a character who was running the cinema?
Yeah, so Dr. Davey B. Gravey has always been a part of the Tiny Cinema.
Yeah.
Sort of old-timey street barker-esque character that's a little bit, sort of, you there, step right up, And I think that was sort of trying to harken back a little bit to that kind of vaudevillian energy that cinema originated in. And that just felt kind of right for the silent movie aspect of it. Fantastic! Short, silent films with live musical accompaniment. See a Tiny Cinema. See a tiny movie at the Tiny Cinema. Step right up. Tiny movie. Tiny movie. Tiny movie. Sometimes I get a little stuck in it, especially if it's a long gig. That can be sort of alarming and hard, where I take the bow tie off and I'm still like, fantastic. Oh God, no. It like takes like an hour to like kind of shake off.
And did you have an interest in silent films specifically, kind of when you were, becoming like a movie fan and stuff?
No.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing. My original experience with silent film was probably just in film school, studying film history for the most part. And, I liked him well enough, but it was more a history lesson.
Okay.
And I think there's a couple things that unlocked it for me. But I think one thing that felt kind of aged about that initial experience was, I'm just sitting in a classroom with a bunch of other kids, and the teacher puts on like a DVD that's like this bad scan in standard definition with some pre-recorded piano score that goes along with it. And it feels kind of boring and old. It feels a little decrepit in that format, I think. That project with the live music really helped to be like, oh, when it's live, and this is exciting. Different. And one other thing that really opened my eyes about it was around 2012 or so, somewhere around then, they released a new restoration of the Georges Méliès film A Trip to the Moon.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
So they, way back in the day, way before color film, in the silent era, there was a tradition of hand painting films. So they would have these women in these like, factory kind of almost settings, like painstakingly painting frame by frame.
Yeah.
And Georges Méliès famously, like his studio exploded or something, like burned up. And so a lot of his work was totally lost There was black and white versions of A Trip to the Moon that existed, but they had unearthed this hand-painted colored version sometime in the 90s, and it took them like 2 decades or something just to like get it unstuck from itself and wait for like scanning technology to catch up and digital technology to catch up. But they finally like recreated and restored this hand-painted original version of A Trip to the Moon. And in order to celebrate that, they hired a French band called Air.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
You know Air?
Oh, I know Air.
I'm a big Air
Moon
fan.
Safari.
Moon Safari.
I love Moon Safari.
Perfect album. They have a lot of great music.
Yeah.
And Air was hired to write a new score to
I gotta look that up.
A Trip to the Moon. And as an Air fan and a film fan, I checked this out. I got like the deluxe version of the CD that came with a DVD of the film with their score in it. And that really opened my eyes also to the idea of using modern musical instruments with silent film. Because A Trip to the Moon is beautiful, and the restored color version of it is amazing also. But having Air's music, Air uses a lot of synthesizers. They use a drum set. They use, they're a very like modern sounding band, and they are themselves on the record, on the score as well. So hearing their music accompanying this ancient piece of film like breathed so much new life into this vintage thing that really kind of opened my eyes to what live music or what music accompaniment to silent film can be. Thank you very much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 1 million BC.
Man, life's hard back then, huh?
Indeed.
Have you been to the Old Town Music Hall since you started doing this? Do you know
No.
what this place is in
The Old Town
Elsinore?
Music Hall? No, I haven't heard of
They
it.
have an original Wurlitzer organ
Wow.
from like 1920 or the 10s, I don't know, but it's in like, they keep it in incredible working condition.
Cool.
These just virtuoso musicians, organists come and play it, and like at least twice a month they do silent movies with scores. I just discovered it this year, and I've been twice.
I gotta go.
Oh yeah, I saw Hitchcock's The Lodger there. Was the first one I saw. That was sold out. I think it was a lot. Hitchcock.
It's a silent film?
He
The
started
Hitchcock
in
man?
silent films
Whoa.
in
Cool.
England, and this one was like one of the first sort of serial killer kind of movies.
Cool.
And
Makes
it's
sense.
great. And then a couple months later, I went and saw Douglas Fairbanks' The Black Pirate, which
Okay, yeah.
was unbelievable too. Like this epic and kind of like really holds a lot of the genre of like pirate film, like kind of still harkens back to this movie.
Wow.
And that movie was actually shot in color too, a really early version of a really early form of Technicolor that they did. And
Was
of
it
course,
like a 2-strip Technicolor or something?
I can't remember, but it doesn't really, the color version doesn't really exist. Like it's very hard to see.
Okay.
Like it exists in like somewhere, but this version you could tell that it was like a color film.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to see.
That's really
yeah,
cool.
I highly recommend that. And then do you think about sometimes of like, is there another step you want to take with the tiny cinema or scoring films in general? Of like, do you want to incorporate newer stuff? Do you want to do like a feature? Like what sort of on the table
Yeah.
for the future?
Yeah, totally. I have a lot of different thoughts all the time about it, but I guess in the more immediate future, I am in pre-production on a new original film for the Tiny Cinema.
Okay, cool.
That I'm really excited about. So yeah, hoping to shoot that next year. It'll be called Hellcat: 5 Lives Left.
Okay.
And it's sort of a car chase action movie is sort of the vibe. So that's what I'll say about that. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, I love doing silent scores also, and I have participated in that on larger scales at different times in bigger movie theaters. So would love to do that more. And yeah, I also kind of dream sometimes about how it could look to bring what is magical about the Tiny Cinema experience to a bigger space. And there is something about this space and the intimacy of it that makes the whole experience really special, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dream about like directing like a feature length silent film. Maybe it's on 16 or something, so it's a little easier to do in a bigger room.
Yeah.
And like touring with it, like a road show.
Well, there was this one. Did you see the one that came out last year? 100 Beavers? Is that what it's called?
Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So it's like something in like that, and not necessarily that, might not be that tone or whatever, but like something along the lines of that. Do you know, I wonder if they toured that with a live score ever.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess that would be the one thing is I do think that the live score
you'd want that part of it.
Is really a special thing to have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would want that to be part of it. But yeah, I think they did kind of tour with a roadshow style, and then they did have a wider release as well. They did a lot with that movie.
Yeah. Do you have some favorite like revival repertory theaters here in LA?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I love the New Beverly.
Yeah.
I actually moonlight there a little bit.
Okay, cool.
As a projectionist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, but work there, and I still love it. So that says something about that place, I would say.
And what about, do you ever like do you ever want to like run something for yourself in the Tiny Cinema? Like do you have that desire sometimes? Do you come out here and like throw on a Super 8 film?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally, and especially with Super 8 film that I shoot. I mean, it's like the coolest place ever to like watch dailies or just footage of my friends and kind of home movie footage and that kind of thing.
Date? Do you ever make this a special date that you can come over?
I take a date?
Yeah, you hey, want to come over to the Tiny Cinema?
I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah, you should if you haven't.
Yeah. I don't think that's come together exactly yet, but but no, yeah, I definitely come here, sort of off hours sometimes to watch new stuff, new oldies that I've bought, or footage that I've seen.
Davey, thanks so much for joining me on MovieTown.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me, Andy. Thanks for coming to the Tiny Cinema.
Yeah, I can't wait to check out 1 Million BC.
Oh yeah.
Alice in Wonderland tonight, and Up and Away.
Yeah, would love to share them all.
I can't wait to see it. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.